blood or anything, do I? Thank you so much.
We are now within the sealed forest. We must not let our guard down.
Professor, we'll avenge Gerald for you, no matter what.
Remember, it is a bad idea to get distracted by revenge.
I have readiness. Our enemies will be taking... we will take our enemies down.
Well, it's not like we have any other missions this month. I suppose this is as good a way as any to spend our energy.
Lindhart spending energy? We'd better finish this fast before the pigs start flying everywhere.
Lower your voice. The enemy could be close.
It is time to repay the kindness of the professor who saved my life.
Professor, I know I'm the one who insisted we come here, but don't doubt for a moment that the enemy is waiting for you.
Lady Edelgard, what are you saying?
What other objective could they possibly have? We have no clue what kind of trap is waiting for us. Please be careful, my teacher. We can't afford to lose you.
The enemy is strong, but you will prevail. You must.
I am grateful. Thank you.
I am grateful. Thanks so much.
Look there! Demonic beasts! I suppose they aren't holding back.
Hello, you're here. Welcome to the Forest of Death. My name is Kranya. This weakling girl was just a borrowed look for me. This is what I really look like. Now, you vermin, I'll take down every last one of you.
I am Ferdinand von Ayer.
I thank you. That's my cue. I have an idea.
Put me in there.
Allow me.
Think this'll work?
Stay focused.
This is critical. It's time. I will get the victory.
One more success. War feeds my body and mind.
Oh no.
Battle.
I will prevail. We won't hold back.
I'm on it.
As you wish.
If this takes too long, I might be forced to escape. Oh, or do you simply intend to let me go? How accommodating of you. As for me, I intend to kill you all.
You fought well.
Witness frigid pride.
Your defeat was inevitable. Is that all?
Hey!
So obvious. You're out of luck. Got it. Good to go.
Let's keep at it.
I owe you one.
As expected. Practice yields results.
Anywhere I can hide. What did I expect? We'll contribute.
Gotcha. How humiliating.
Witness my power.
Easy. Gonna need you to move.
I won, naturally.
That really helped.
Winning's always nice. Oh, I see now.
Battle?
Sweet of you.
Practice does make perfect.
That's my cue.
This over yet?
Well done.
Put me in there.
I'm on it.
I will get the victory.
I am Ferdinand von Eyre.
As you wish.
I will prevail.
Oh no.
You inspire.
Well, like what you see.
This strength will serve Lady Edelgard well.
I thank you.
Stay focused.
I am Ferdinand von Eyre.
Oh, how cute! You're trying so hard. But now it's time to die.
Stay focused.
You're a fool to be so brazen. You'll never avenge your father at this rate. I'll have to kill you too, with my own hands.
We must all do our part.
But how? How could I really lose to a lowly creature like you?
Well,
Solon, don't just stand there and stare. I need your help.
Yes, you most certainly do.
Huh?
Have no fear, Kranya. Your sacrifice will help to rid this world of the filthy vermin that have long infested it. The time is finally come to unleash the forbidden spell of Zaharas upon our enemies!
Please, help me.
Be gone with you, Fellstar.
That could only have been magic. What happened to our professor?
They were swallowed by the mystical darkness of the forbidden spell. An eternity wandering in a void of nothingness, never to return to this world. To think, we almost had the sword of the Creator.
You're lying. Our professor is alive. I know it.
That's right. Our professor is no ordinary human.
It is hard to fathom that our professor would die in a place like this.
It is possible that death has yet to find your friend, but there are worse things than death. Drifting through the darkness with no chance of escape, overwhelmed with hopelessness. It must be torturous.
You're already boasting a victory, but know this. If you did use such devious tricks to stop our professor, I swear that you will regret it.
I cannot help but agree with her this once. Even if our professor is trapped in darkness, that is not the end of their story.
I will not forgive such arrogance. If you prefer it so, you shall also be added to the ranks of the dead.
You fool! What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap? Are you just a boulder that rolls down whatever hill it's on? No, even a boulder has more sense. Apologizing won't make things right! This darkness is terrifying! As you and I are one, I too am trapped within this void. But please consider this. This realm of darkness we are in is separate from the world from which you came. I mean that it would take a god to leave this place. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be. Are you prepared to die? thought as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet... there is no other choice. Do you recall your father's diary? He said you were a child who never cried nor laughed. I think I am the one to blame. I must have been asleep, but even then, I feel I was a part of you. I do not know how Rhea managed it, but she allowed me to exist inside of you. The truth is, I have always been with you. It is within you that I found my power yet again. The power of a goddess. The power of the progenitor god. My name is Sothis. By now, you must be well aware of what that means. I am the one who watches over Fodlan and the creatures dwelling there. I am Sothis, she who died and then returned. There is but one thing left to do to save us from this darkness of eternity. I must now use the power of a god. However, I lack a body of my own, and so I must relinquish all the power that I have to you. The time has come for you and I to join as one. And when that comes to pass, then I shall disappear. When I say disappear, I do not mean that all I am will be no more. My soul will join with yours, and you and I will never be apart. But I will no longer have the chance to speak with you. I shall miss it. So long have I been on this path with you. Through you, I got to see and hear this world. I even got to chastise you from time to time. I may not have acted like a goddess, but it was certainly fun. For all that you have done, thank you. I'm glad that it was you to whom my fate was bound. Now, we must pray. For if we share this wish, our spirits too will join as one. Your wish is to return to the forest, stop the enemy, and rescue the little ones. No need for words. I know your heart as though it were my own. Your will and mine are now as one. Both sides of time are revealed to you, and you alone. You know I am the beginning. What shall you do?
So the Fellstar consumes even the darkness itself.
Professor, it is you, right? I knew that you would always come back to us. I'd like to ask about your appearance, but for now, let's dispose of our enemies.
What did you see in the darkness of Zaharas? This should be impossible. The only being that can withstand that darkness is... Unless I dispose of you myself, I may never have the chance to send you back there.
That's my cue.
Thank you.
Battle.
Well done.
I've got a grasp on this. I will get the victory.
As you wish.
Put me in there.
Oh
I'm on it.
I will prevail.
Can't get ahead of myself.
Hope this is good for something.
You're making me look bad. I'll send you flying! Need a hand?
I created a plan.
Unexpected. I could have been sleeping this whole time. Helpful.
Only a fool challenges me. Always getting stronger.
Getting stronger all the time.
well win. Must be awful losing to me. Just give up.
The mark of nobility.
Acknowledged.
I did!
This was beneath me.
I am terrified by you. Even though an emotion like fear has no place inside me, that means you must be eliminated. To think that I would lose to mere beasts. But this is not the end. Tullus will carry out our mission somehow.
It's over. Now, Professor, about your appearance.
Thank you so much.
That hair. And those eyes. You remind me of someone. What happened to you? The goddess. I see. Well, I'm happy for you. Your weapon is called the Sword of the Creator, after all. It's no wonder she looks favorably upon you. Just as it was with Saint Saros, no doubt. And just how will you use this new power, Professor? That is so like you to say that. Tell me, if the world, and your students included, were to divide and go to war with each other, what would you do? In that scenario, each side would represent both the world and your students. Who would you? Professor, have you fallen asleep? This must be a side effect of your recent changes. I can't just leave you here. I shouldn't ask Hubert to carry you, so I suppose it falls to me.
In time's flow, see the glow of flames ever burning bright on the swift rivers drift, broken memories alight.
Professor, you must remain still. Everything is all right. There is no need to worry. Those who are trying to harm you are far away. How lovely it would be for this moment to last forever. I wish I could hold on to this time we have stolen, that you and I could create a world without end. I have heard whispers of what happened to you. Your appearance. You have received power from the goddess. From the moment you took hold of the sword of the Creator, I prayed that one day the radiant power of Sothis, which bathes Fodlan in its celestial light, might reside within you. But you are so much more than the light. You are my... Close your eyes, dear one. Sleep just a while longer. I will be watching over you, always, always and forever.
Part 1. White Clouds. Pegasus Moon. Throne of Knowledge. The northern lands are enveloped in a bitter cold, and frigid winds are carried across the sea to the south of Adrestia. When feather-white snow falls on Fodlan's locket, the fort looks as delicate as a pearl. However, beneath that snowy blanket, her throat is more treacherous than ever.
Rhea, please, talk to me. What are you hiding? What is the meaning of how that one looks? It is almost as though...
As I said, there is nothing of which to speak, for now. At the end of this month...
I read Gerald's diary. I happened upon it in his room.
What?
In it, he stated the reason for his departure. The baby, thought to have died in the fire, has returned to us. Gerald realized that you had done something to the child and decided to flee. What did you do to that baby, Rhea? Nothing questionable, I should hope.
Setteth enough. They will be here shortly. No more, I beg of you. I will take our dear professor to the Holy Tomb. There, I should be able to see our dearest wishes to fruition. When I was young, I heard her voice there. I'm sure of it. You may enter. I have been awaiting your arrival, Professor. Now that you have received sacred power from the goddess, there is somewhere you must pay a visit to at once. You must go to the Holy Tomb so that you may receive a divine revelation from the goddess.
The Holy Tomb is where the goddess sleeps. This monastery was originally built for the purpose of protecting that hallowed temple.
Only a select few know of it, but there is a legend about Seiros and the Holy Tomb. Saint Seiros, the first soul to be gifted power from the goddess, received her revelation there. She was told that it was her sacred duty to save the people of Fodlan, and that she must use her power wisely in order to lead them. The words that were handed down to Seiros from the goddess will likely fall upon your ears as well.
Prepare yourself to go at once. There, may you find out why you were blessed with such power.
There will be a ceremony at the Holy Tomb. It is then that you will receive the goddess's revelation. You may share this mission with your students. It is said that when Seiros received the revelation, she had holy warriors by her side protecting her. Your students, who have followed you and fought alongside you through the darkest of times, are well suited to stand by you for the ceremony. Of course, as the leader of the Church of Seiros, I will be by your side as well. The Holy Tomb is a sacred temple that is sealed off from the rest of the world. There is nothing to fear. Even if something were to happen, I am more than capable of protecting myself.
Much has changed, but your duty has not wavered. Steel your mind for the ceremony and prepare your students well.
Oh, wow, thanks!
Thank you.
A new path to tread.
That song.
Oh, hello, Edelgard.
Professor Manuela, that song you were humming. I feel as though I've heard it before, long ago. And I'm sure it was you singing it back then. At the Opera House in the Imperial capital, perhaps.
Why, yes. You must have seen me there. I am flattered you would remember it. I performed with the Mittelfrank Opera Company in Enbar on numerous occasions.
So it was you. I went to that performance with my uncle. I wanted desperately to see it again. But after that night, he took me to seek asylum in the kingdom. When I returned to the Empire several years later, you had already retired.
Oh, that's a shame. So you only got to hear me sing once?
Sadly, that's correct.
Yet you still remember it, even the melody of the song I sang. I'm honored.
That's how much of an impression your voice left on me. I must ask, why did you retire so soon? You could have continued for another 10 or 20 years.
Indeed. Many singers perform for decades. But that wasn't for me. I wanted to go out on top. My voice is a gift from the goddess. However, as all things do, it will decline with age. One day, I will lose that gift. And so I decided I needed to learn to survive without it, long before that day came. I needed to prove to myself that I can live on, even after my voice returns to the goddess.
So despite your belief in the goddess, you wish to live by your own strength?
It's hard for me to explain. The goddess supports me both spiritually and emotionally. Everything else is up to me. Ugh, my head. Why am I here instead of the infirmary? When did I... Oh boy.
How are you feeling, Professor Manuela?
Sylvain? What do you need at this hour?
You don't remember? Well, you collapsed in the infirmary and...
That doesn't sound like me. Wait, no, I remember. The truth is, something sad happened. So I did what I always do to forget my troubles.
Anyway, I found you passed out on the floor, helped you up, then carried you back here.
And what were you doing in the infirmary late at night? Not bringing a girl there, I hope.
Nope, I was definitely alone. I just had a bad feeling and I decided to look around to see if anyone needed my help.
Oh, my poor head.
Are you all right? Here, have some water.
What a thoughtful young man you are. You're a real gentleman, compared to that jerk who just...
That good-for-nothing guy who strung you along, whispered sweet nothings in your ear, then shattered your heart beyond repair? I agree. He's a jerk.
Oh no. Did I say those things to you?
Actually, your version had more details. Very detailed details.
Oh dear.
You know, Professor, you're a good catch. It's a shame that you've had no luck with men. You need a guy like me. Somebody who sees your beauty and appreciates how tender you are, emotionally, and how much love you have to give.
You're a smooth talker, even when you don't mean what you say. I'm going to change, so shoot, okay?
Sure, I can take a hint. Rest up, Manuela.
Thank you, Sylvain. I'm going to try and get some sleep. Did he just call me Manuela and not Professor? That sly little... Although... Me? With Sylvain? Now there's a crazy thought.